Keon Coleman is a tall, strong receiver from FSU who is entering the 2024 NFL Draft. He has NFL fans divided over where he should be drafted though. Some believe that he has the talent to be a first-round pick. Others don't believe he is fast enough to even play in the NFL. Those who think he should be a first-round pick point to a highlight reel full of circus plays. Coleman put on a spectacle in his one season at Florida State. He made one-handed catches, had long punt returns, and was even hurdling defenders out there. The argument against him is that he isn't able to separate very well and had limited production in college. If he wants to make it at the next level, he will have to find ways to get open despite his lack of speed and quickness.
Despite Coleman making insane highlights for Florida State, the plays never seemed to be backed by the numbers. In 12 games last season, Coleman only put up 658 receiving yards, much less than the almost 800 he put up in his last season with Michigan State. A decrease in production in a player's final year is not something NFL scouts love to see from a player. The lack of separation could be a big reason for the decline in production. His inability to separate from defenders gave corners more opportunities to break up passes. His contested targets nearly doubled from 16 in 2022 to 30 in 2023 on the same amount of targets. And if Coleman went to the NFL Combine hoping to beat the separation charges, he failed pretty bad. On a day that saw the 40-yard dash record get broken by Xavier, Coleman ran a 4.61 40-yard dash, which was good for the second slowest time among all the receivers. Not really quieting the noise that he isn't fast enough to make it in the NFL. His only saving grace was during the gauntlet drill. He ran one of the fastest speeds at 20 miles per hour, but that's probably a better reflection of how a natural catcher he is than he is how fast he can. For comparison, the fastest recorded speed in the NFL during the 2023 season was over 22 miles per hour. The lack of production with the terrible testing numbers has many general managers really feeling concerned about Coleman's ability to play in the NFL. Similar players like former 2023 first-round pick Quentin Johnson, showing that lack of separation in college can translate to the NFL in a bad way. Front offices have a valid reason for not wanting to take Coleman too high. I believe Coleman can find success in the NFL though if he develops like his Super Bowl winning comp did.
The comp that best fits Keon Coleman is Anquan Boldin. Anquan Boldin proved that players who lack speed and acceleration can still have success. Boldin also attended Florida State, and he wore number 4 for the Seminoles. Boldin was regarded as a slower receiver entering the draft, who had to use his strength and route running savvy to get open. Just like Coleman, he also had a bad combine day. He ran a 4.7 40-yard dash. Boldin and Coleman are both known for their strong hands and rare drops. Coleman is a little taller at 6'4" than Boldin's 6'1" height, but they are around the same weight. Boldin was 220 and Coleman is 216. So there is evidence that a receiver can be successful even without blazing speed. If Coleman wants to develop like Boldin did, he is going to have to dedicate more of his off seasons to perfecting his craft. Coleman had to split a lot of his time between basketball and football. He made the Michigan State basketball team as a redshirt freshman. With the ability to just focus on football, that should allow his route running ability to develop. If he can improve that and learn to be more physical, he can carve out a solid career for himself. Boldin was a 14-year veteran who put up over 1,300 yards in his career. Coleman is also a better jump ball specialist than Boldin was. Coleman will likely be a second-round pick like Anquan, but that doesn't mean he can't grow into a top receiver for a team. Boldin was a true number 1 receiver during his time in San Francisco, and even had a 1,400-yard season while playing alongside Larry Fitzgerald in Arizona.
Keon Coleman may not be the fastest guy in this draft class, but that doesn't mean that he can't be a number 1 receiver somewhere. He has the potential to be a great receiver. To reach his potential though, he would have to improve his route running ability and become a more physical receiver at the NFL level. Do you agree with our comp for Keon Coleman, or do you think there's someone else out there that might be a better fit for him? Thank you so much for watching. We are the RFL Show, and we will see you in the next one.